So immediately before I started the stream, I have like two monitors that are on arms. The one over here just like crashed aggressively. So if I look down way too much, that's the reason for it. Welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name's Ashiller. Let's just get straight into it. We're talking about chase cards because I've noticed more of a push, if you will, from these card companies on release day, highlighting something that is worth chasing, sometimes not even on release day, miles ahead of times, like this for Topps, breaking in a shocking, that's my shocked face, Jerry Seinfeld may be the biggest signing of the MLB offseason. Many teams vied for the legendary comedian, but Seinfeld is signing autograph cards as a member of the New York Yankees. These ultra-rare cards can be found in packs of 2026 Topps Series 1, which is the first release for baseball in the 2026 year. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're a fan of Seinfeld in general, maybe you'll go and chase that card, but it adds something that people are potentially hoping to look for. And then it continues. It's not a one and done. Just in an actual 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle card, which is one of the primos, will be inserted into a random pack of 2026 Topps Series 1. Another chase. Before anyone panics, the literal card will not be placed in a pack. To preserve its condition, one lucky collector will find a redemption card that can be redeemed for the historic original. 2026 Topps Series 1 releases tomorrow. Oh, all right. So instead of day of, they let you know all the goodies are coming the day before to try to create that FOMO essence. Where have we seen the likes of this sort of FOMO before? I wonder, eh? And this was super cool. But this is going back to the 2024 Topps Heritage release, where I guess that they had these zoo animal cards that were based off the 1975 set. So I tried to find a little bit of research, okay? So the 2024 Topps Heritage is a 500 card set, and the design is based off of the 1975 Topps set, which these are what some of the cards sort of look like. So you kind of get an idea. It's got that retro feel, you know, you're feeling it. And then these are the different cards that are inserted, and it's just like a zoo. So the Detroit Tigers, in that kind of older fashion, the Tampa Bay Rays has an actual stingray. And you could go down the list. I just think in general, this is really cool. For whatever reason, the Oakland Athletics are a catfish. I don't know if that's supposed to be like an actual dig at anything. But going back to 2024, that was a set that was released. So chase cards, this is the theme of today's show. And in Ascended Heroes, these are what the price check is for the top 10 cards so far. So the Gengar is at $912. So if you could get your hands on a pack of Ascended Heroes for MSRP, I mean, you pull the Gengar, you're feeling pretty. The Mega Charizard Y, Mega Dragonite, Pikachu goes 673, 572, 526. And then it further comes out that a bunch of the orders that were placed into the Pokemon Center were then being canceled. So now the question has started to pop up of, wait, did they actually not fix their printer issue? And they're having to kind of, you know, backpedal just a little bit, which could mean that this set is ultra hard to get, which would kind of show within the current single chase card market as of right now. Get the Feraligatr as well at $209. But if you got all the chase cards here, $4,580. And we talked about on stream the other day where it was $10,000 roughly to get a entire set, master set of all the Ascended Heroes cards, which is bonkers banana pants. So I wanted to go back to this. This is the commercial of Pokemon and Lady Gaga during the Super Bowl, right?
Jigglypuff is my favorite.
Okay, you might not have been able to hear that, but you get the idea. And I was thinking, you know, I'm getting lost in the thought. How do you make a Pokemon popular or a card potentially more in demand? Well, if you have something within the show, or if you have it in a movie, right? We all remember the original uh, Pokemon movies where, you know, the Entei, you have I think there was a recent one. I forget there was like the lava creature that was like this angry thing. I forget what the hell it's called. My apologies. But the point being with this is, did they specifically pick these ones to try to create like a fan base more so for it? Because for Jigglypuff, if you think of the Super Smash Bros. Nintendo game, I remember that being a character within there. But then going to the Lamine Yamal character, which I forget what the exact one, but it was one of like the newer gen Pokemons. Who the hell is just randomly going to like that one unless it was a big feature within a movie or a show that I'm not familiar with? But you see it on the commercial and then you see it on a card and you're like, I'm going to connect the two. So curious if that commercial actually had any impact on cards from those specific Pokemon, because in the sports world, we say, oh my God, somebody did something really, really cool. This person won a championship. Oh, the price of that goes up. But Pokemon's featured in a Super Bowl. Does it actually change anything cost wise? I don't know. And then we saw where Time magazines, and there was another one that I don't remember off the top of my head, were doing these collabs for the 30th anniversary. And somebody ordered it from Amazon, and I guess the package was ruined. There was no cover on it. And if people are buying these things for collectibles, they are just crashing out. So Cab, who's an animator involved with Claynosaurz, just a little bit of a plug because this is the most recent RWA SegMints podcast, not with Cab, but with the co-CEO of Hibu and Claynosaurz, and they actually had a very, very big announcement today. Claynosaurz is selected as the top 5 finalist at the Kids Screen Summit Licensing Challenge. Out of more than 70 submissions, Claynosaurz is one of the breakout brands, will represent live on stage at Kids Screen Summit in front of senior decision makers across kids media, licensing, and consumer products from brands such as Spin Master, Wild Brain, Legendary, and Moose Toys, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. And here is a quick bit of that conversation that I had with Mr. Andrew Pelekis. So, hey, you know what? They're helping me out, and then now I'm working for them, and now you're in a heavy leadership position. And talking with Nick in a previous episode, because we were lucky enough to talk with him, and he was going on about how, you know, kind of taking a risk and jumping into something that's new and finding people that are open to this idea. And you guys have a new co-CEO that you've brought on fairly recently in Sherry Gunther Sugarman, who's had a ton of experience with scaling global franchises. From your background of not being involved with media to somebody who's been super involved in media, how's the team transitioned, and the addition of Sherry, how has that shaken things up?
I think it's a good point. Like I readily admit at the beginning, I had no experience, right? And at the beginning of this, we had very different, you know, startup style problems. And it was a marriage of what we know in Web3, like managing a collection, building a community, doing, you know, new things in that environment, and then growing up into doing social media, and then a mobile game, and then the series and partnerships and stuff like that. And then we want to do Hibu, and we want to grow, and we want to do other things of the same nature, like I described before. And so I think every company has a journey where the people who like start, like I'm not the guy who would have started the thing. I already told you, I was hesitant and pessimistic around NFTs when these guys called me. And, you know, ultimately I was not going to talk. I was like, okay, it sounds like you guys are excited by it. Go ahead. But, you know, not me. And that's a whole different group of founders. And some of those founders aren't even with us today anymore. And everyone's fine, but like, they're not with us. And then I came in and sort of the team builds up into a different direction, or I guess like levels up from project to company. And then that company that is Claynosaurz is now leveling up into not just a single property, but multiple properties and a studio and a tech platform. And so along the way, we've acquired a lot of great talent. So Jacques came in and helped Nick and I out. I mean, helped him out. He's still with us today, and he's a very critical part, almost at this point, founder level person early in 23 or mid 23. Blake is our head of marketing, our chief marketing officer. Like, it feels like he's been with us forever, but I always have to remind myself, like, I think he's only been with us for like a year and a half, but in startup time, it's like 3 decades. So Blake's another guy that's come in, and then even people like Sarat and Will's been here before me, and all the people around us have been sort of, we built up that team into more organized and so on and so forth. But Sherry came in when we were sort of like, honestly, dude, during the summer, we were like doing the Popkins launch. And we're like, okay, Claynosaurz, we have this deal, that deal, we're going to do this series, we're doing the game. Also, there's Hibu in the platform. And we got to raise for this thing, we got to raise for that thing, we got to build the platform, we got a white paper there, we got a token design that we have to do. There's a bunch of legal stuff we have to figure out there. There's a bunch of, all these different deals that we have to manage on the studio side, blah, 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 blah. I was literally like, I have ran out of time in my actual days and I got young kids. I might wake up at 4 a.m, work for an hour or two, then kids wake up, then I do that, come to the office, work until, dinner time.
So a little bit windy, but he gets to a point where he talks about how Sherry was actually the original producer that helped launch Simpsons, Family Guy, and a whole bunch of others. So that was a little bit of that podcast. Again, if you're wanting to hear the full breakdown of that in the discussion with Andrew Pelekis, and the whole Claynosaurz team is actually based out of Montreal, which is super, super cool. And yeah, so if you're wanting to check that out, find that in the description below. So back to some of the TCG news. If you didn't see this one, oh, buddy. The bulk, I mean, the entire list of PSA pricing has changed, not insanely. It's like $5 per, but PSA cannot handle the demand, so they are charging more and letting everybody know the estimated turnaround times are even longer than one would expect. Per usual. Hasbro more than doubled year-over-year revenue from its popular card game Magic the Gathering in the fourth quarter. And then it also says the sales soar on popular tie-ins. So Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that are coming up, collaborating with everybody. That is the name of the game in 2026. Then you have Olympic athletes that are talking about it. U.S. Olympic gold medalist figure skater Amber Glenn says Magic the Gathering is one of her favorite hobbies. I go to local game stores and play. I know it's nerdy, but it's my hobby and I enjoy it. And further on that, the founder of Azuki and Azuki TCG, which is a newer and up-and-coming trading card game, met with Adam Kai, who sold a Lotus for $3 million. And the Lotus is like the pinnacle trading card sort of deal within the Magic the Gathering world. And I guess that he just bought it from the guy that is, I guess, really well known for it. So they've had invitationals that we covered briefly. This is a look at what some of the cards look like for the Azuki TCG. But again, everybody is sort of jumping into that. And also to another complete side point, during the Paris Fashion Week, he actually went out and was a part of the show for that, which I think is very, very cool. And then in the Vibes TCG realm, which is another blockchain-based IP, if you will, using Pudgy Penguin's brand, their chase cards, as the theme of the stream, is these sketch cards. Now, the photos of these are awful because it's like the sketch of it, and it's all sort of like white and kind of hard to see, but like zoomed in. All these cards are colorful, and the sketch cards are the chase cards for that. I couldn't figure out how to find like what the Azuki chase card is because they've only released a couple sets, but I digress. And then the final thing that I wanted to highlight is that Barbie, they launched a doll to celebrate the Seahawks win. The collaborations are just simply everywhere. But that's it for this edition of XFeed. I hope you guys enjoy that. Again, we got the podcast, we got shorts, we got a little bit of everything. And if you're wanting more, of course, go check out the live stream tab if you're on YouTube, and you will find a ton of other streams throughout the past year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.